And just as a quick overview, welcome, thanks. I'm Dan Borsek, the program director at Rural Action for the Resilient Communities Program. And I put together this workshop series. This is the first one in cooperation with the Morgan County Extension Office through a project funded by the USDA Rural Business Development Grant. And the whole premise of the grant was to help communities get better connected with their small business owners, especially the ones that really could need some resources. They're not sure where to go, or maybe they don't have the time right at that moment to get to them. And we come to the business owners rather than waiting for business owners to track down the help that they really can use that's really at our fingertips. Excellent, thanks, Sarah. So that's the premise of the project, and we're operating this particular project in Morgan County, Vinton County, and Meigs County, and it's all the same concept that I'm working closely with the Extension Office agents in each county to form this outreach network, then connect it up with the business assistance network, so to speak. And this workshop came out of some of that outreach that we did with business owners to ask, what are you struggling with the most? What could you really need some help with? And even before the pandemic, employment and employees was right at the top of the list. So appreciate you coming on. The last thing I would say for all of you is that Rural Action is a member-supported nonprofit in Southeast Ohio. We cover about 28 of the 32 Appalachian counties with some kind of programming. All asset-based community development in a lot of different sectors. So if you like our work or you want to find out more, you can go to our website, ruralaction.org, and learn about us. And if you want to become a member, it's a $20 a year member that gets you connected to all the events in our newsletter to help you keep up with what's going on and also add a little bit of support to what we're doing if you like what we're doing. So with that, what I thought we could do tonight is it's an informal setup. So first, just kind of an overview from Hunter and Daryl about what you do and where you see yourself fitting into, supporting businesses. Oh, here we go. Sorry, Sarah, I didn't see that pop up. We'll see if this works. Thank you for your patience, everyone.
Hey.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're muted. Yeah, you're muted on the other one.
Yeah, sorry guys, I really do know computers. I don't know why I'm having such trouble tonight.
Okay. So it sounds like you've got two microphones on, so pick either your phone or your computer and then mute the other one, and then you can talk through one channel.
Got it.
Awesome. Wow. Hey, thanks for your patience, Sarah.
Sorry, guys.
No, with the best of planning, this happens so often with these video meetings. It's all part of the game, which is why I don't get too concerned about it. But what I was going to say, Sarah, is kind of, I guess, before Daryl and Hunter get started, do you want to talk just for a few minutes about your business, why you like doing business right there in McConnellsville and Morgan County, but also maybe like why this is something you are interested in, and that'll help us kind of frame our conversation tonight.
Okay. So my reasoning for coming to Morgan County was first family. Mm-hmm. My husband's family mother grew up in the Zanesville area, and his parents moved down here to Morgan County about 20 years ago. And my husband and I moved a lot, and with his dual career, he's Army Reserves and also worked as a contractor for the government and also direct hire for the government. And I got tired of living in big cities. Washington, D.C., we spent a lot of time in. Excuse me. We really wanted to come back home and raise our kids in a small town. And so Morgan County is where we decided to come. We figured we'd be here for a little while, and my husband would start up his engineering firm. But it turns out we bought a store instead. And so my hobbies and aspirations turned into our family source of income instead of what he'd spent the last 20 years having a career for. And so we purchased the store 2 years ago, and since then we've helped it to expand and grow. We're in the process of so we have a Mennonite bulk food store. We bought it from a Mennonite family, and they'd had it for 40 plus years, and we're currently expanding to a bakery and eatery, which is one of the reasons why this workshop interested me, because I need an assistant baker and I need an assistant cook, because I do everything from scratch, and people don't cook or bake from scratch anymore. And so whoever I bring on, I've got to train, but I need more than just an hourly person or an hourly wage earner to train. I need someone who wants to learn a skill.
Gotcha. Thanks. That really helps frame it. And another reason why I like that it's a small group is we can dig into this individual business case here. And at any time, Sarah, questions, interject on that. But I definitely think we'll have some time to discuss this more. So Hunter and Daryl, I mean, whoever wants to go first, just to give us, I've talked to each of you a little bit on the telephone, but Sarah, this is your first time meeting these two folks. So for Hunter and Daryl, just kind of giving a synopsis of where you're coming from, and then we can circle back to this, addressing how this is going to be beneficial to maybe your situation, Sarah. So I'll just turn it over there.
Sorry, muted. Hey, Sarah, nice to meet you. Dan, good to see you in person. Daryl, good as always. Yeah, my name's Hunter Wrzezinski. I'm the placement coordinator for a nonprofit in Marietta called Building Bridges to Careers. And in my role, I'm in charge of all the job shadowing and all the internship placements in Washington County. And we also work with Williamstown High School, but we are also branching out into Noble Megs. We have an outreach program out there as well. So the only high school that makes it a mandatory requirement to have a job shadowing experience is Marietta High School. And then the internship, that just kind of goes with students' interest. If they are interested in a certain career and they fill out the application for an internship, I do my best to kind of partner with a business, or they could also be a student ambassador through BB2C, where they would be our intern and promote our programming and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's great to meet you. And I've been here for about 2 years. I'm just continuing to broaden my networking. And just to hear you say that you are interested in like, not only like a part-time person, but like somebody who's interested in like a skill is like, every time I sit in on a job shadowing, I'm just like, I want to be a marine biologist now, or I want to be a welder now. Now I want to be like an assistant baker already. But so I think that, I don't know, my role possibly in helping would just be, to be able to just talk to you, who you're interested in. I mainly deal with high school students. I deal, sometimes our population is, K through 24 years old, I feel like. So if I'm able to help you out in any way, questions, anything, yeah, I don't know. Great to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
So I'm Daryl Jones. I'm the training director for the Marietta Electrical JATC. It's Electrician Union's apprenticeship program. And I'm also a board member on BB2C, but I do my best to utilize all their resources and participate everywhere I can. And so I've done everything from the job shadowing, internships, speaking at different events, that kind of stuff. And as someone from the business side of it, I represent kind of the business side for the contractors we represent, but also the student side. We have an apprenticeship program. So we're all about educating our apprentices after high school, throughout the next 5 years in their whole career. So we're kind of that same situation with you. We have somebody that's new, that's just interested in being an electrician, and they come with little to no experience, and we build them up over the next 5 years to be a competent, qualified craftsman we can send anywhere in the US or Canada to get a job and represent us. Small world also is, I was just telling Hunter about my trip this weekend. We're actually planning on staying in McConnellsville at the Stone Bread and Breakfast. And my wife, we passed by last week whenever they had a food truck in town, and she said, "Hey, look, they changed businesses there at the market." And I'm like, "Oh, so I had in my head, we're stopping by this weekend, so hopefully I'll see you."
Well, great. Well, Amy and Dan are the perfect host at the Inns on 8th and Main. You will really enjoy it there.
Excellent.
They are. Yeah, is that Amy Grove's operation down at the end?
No, not Amy Grove. It's Amy and Dan Smith.
Oh,
Dan,
Okay.
Dan owns No Pressure Services. It's on the back side of the brewery.
Okay, yeah, that's another place to check out, is the brewery down the street. They're doing quite well. Yeah, one thing I think I'm going to keep kind of directing back to your situation, Sarah, because you've got all of our brains here, but you know, knowing that you want more of a longer term ability to staff up for this kind of work, if you were to like create the perfect scenario of how this would work into the way you operate day to day, and I'm talking about your availability, the needs of the business or what you expect, like if you were to create the ideal situation where someone came to you to learn this, what would that look like? How would you describe that?
The ideal situation is someone who was willing to get up at the butt crack of dawn,
Okay.
and to be attentive. I need someone who's intuitive, and I need someone who can give me a year commitment.
Okay.
Training a baker it takes some time.
Mhm.
Especially if I have someone young coming in. First, I'm having to train them on how to discipline themselves, of how to stay on task, of how to have forward thinking, and how to clean up after themselves. You don't know how many, and I have good staff, but how often I have to say, please don't stick the salad box on a dirty counter. This is the finished packaging we're giving to a customer. I don't want them to pick it up and have, lettuce on the bottom of the box. So there's a lot of just life skills that I'm having to teach this generation before I can even get to the actual technical skill I'm trying to teach them.
I'm making notes.
Yeah, we do hear about that a lot. Just needing those soft skills, for moving forward with employment. Okay, so you said that you're interested in a year commitment. So for my just perspective. So it probably wouldn't be a high school student. It'd probably be somebody maybe just out of high school who's probably interested in like culinary, something like that. Correct? Okay. Yeah. And I have my network. I have a colleague, Jordan Spence, who's in Noble County, and I will make sure to get the word out, that you are interested in looking for this type of employee. We have staff meetings every Wednesday, so I'll make sure to bring that up and get the word out. So hopefully we can help you out with someone like that. Would you call it an internship, or would they be paid? Or would it just be through skills learned?
It would be paid. It would be lower wages starting out with the internship. Typically, because I'm food service and we're a small family business, I don't pay much, but I try to pay more than minimum wage. We start them out on minimum wage, but that's just for the first 30 days to make sure that they show up.
Sure.
And then after that, after that, it's a 25 cent raise. And then after 60 days, it's at 45 cents. So within 90 days, they're at $9.50 an hour. And then I have no problem raising the pay if they're meeting the job. So yeah, it would be a paid internship.
Super. Just looking for passion. Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm realizing the passion I had as a kid was not normal.
Don't we all?
I mean, all of my free time on the weekends in college wasn't studying and I have a business degree. It was cooking. So, and I ended up buying a grocery store. So go figure.
One question I wanted to kind of put in here with this is, from your experience, Hunter, and I'd say mostly Hunter because of the internship, what are the ingredients that make a host site work out for someone who goes in for an internship? And this would be a longer term, more like an apprenticeship that you do, Daryl, because yours are 5 years. You're talking 1 year. But what kind of things are these interns? Because there's something in it for them besides the skill and the money. I mean, what other things do they need for them to feel comfortable and stick with it from what you've seen?
Right. Okay. So I've been with GPCC, like I said, for about 2 years. And so the one success story that I can think of that is actually, it's not through Daryl, but it is through another electrical company called Pro One Electric. So there was a student, he started off kind of like as a sophomore. He was interested in, being an electrician. We did a job shadow with him. That job shadow, that company actually reached out. They were like, hey, we have an opening. He was enthusiastic, would he be interested in an internship? And just recently they offered him a full-time job. So that turned into a career. So I thought that's what the goal, I feel, of my position is, to help those students who have an idea of what they want to do, find a career locally is also, always does help. But I would say, I have had students that are interested in job shadowing that say, baking or culinary. A lot of times, so it starts out generally in the 10th grade. I feel like a lot of the students and the teachers and their parents and ourselves don't really have like the terminology for like what exactly we want to do, because we have no idea what's out there. So it's like, I have a lot of job shadowings that just say, I want to be an engineer. That's such a broad stroke of just a term. Like, what exactly do you want? Do you want to be a chemical engineer? Do you want, so it goes through that. So it would just be, for me, it would be to find a student who does put in a job shadow request. I'm interested in culinary. Culinary arts. Okay, let's dive into that. Is it baking? Is it pastry? Is it this? Is it that? Is this a good fit for Sarah? And then just seeing, hey, like, we have this opportunity for you. Are you able to, does this sound like something you want to do? So it would be to try to find a student like that. But with Sarah's kind of request, I feel like I could kind of just get the word out there to recent, seniors that are getting ready to graduate. Is there anybody interested in really?
Let me ask you this. Your program or your school, does it have a culinary program?
So we partner with all of the high schools in Washington County. So we're a nonprofit separated from them. We just have a partnership with them. I don't think I'm not sure if any of the high schools do have they may have a home ec possibly, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't even know if the Career Center, I don't think the Career Center around here offers, no, it doesn't offer like a culinary. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I have had requests for culinary.
If you have a student that shows the passion for it and they're able to drive themselves here, I would do a summer internship.
Totally.
Because really what I'm looking for is the passion. This is hard work. You are on your feet a lot. You are constantly multitasking, and you've got to have a passion for it.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're probably in your area, because not having a career center or a high school has that culinary program, it's probably going to be some boots on the ground whenever they're looking for speakers and stuff at these schools. And talking about career paths, I know that's what I'm going to be doing here soon with the mentoring program. I'll be reaching out to the high school, and I'm going to tell them my path to get to where I am. And you've had an exciting career path to where you are. You went to business school and didn't quite do what you thought you were doing and stuff. But that might be enough to spark somebody in the high school level that will reach out to you. And that's kind of how my internship worked out. We had an experience where I brought some students in for job shadow. Actually, I had a job shadow once before. Went with one of our contractors to see what we had to offer and whatnot. I met them at our training center, told her to come back for another job shadowing event that I was personally doing, which I got to take credit for Pro One, by the way. He's one of our contractors. People don't know that he's an IBW contractor. So that's awesome that we've got more of our people helping out with these. But anyhow, she came back, did a job shadowing with me, and then she went to the career center doing electrical stuff, asked me about an internship, and we had her here for a year. We did 6 months and renewed after another 6 months. For us, it was paid. She hit some criteria, so we actually were able to pay her $10 an hour. It cost us $0. We recouped every penny. So that's definitely a huge thing that helped us. We're a nonprofit, so we couldn't pay out for anything. So it worked out really well for our program. And that's dependent on your person you bring in. We lost Hunter. But she actually went, once she finished our contract after the year, we couldn't keep her on under that program where they're paying for it. But we had another contractor that took her on, and she's now working for their shop in her senior year of high school. And hopefully after her senior year of high school, she's already applied for our program and she'll be coming for an interview this spring. So hopefully she'll be in our apprenticeship program, and we'll get to keep her here for the next 5 years and make her one of us. So, but yeah, I would say in your area, it's going to be a lot of just reaching out to schools and trying to find out who's interested and let them know there's an opportunity out there. A lot of people just don't know what opportunities are in front of them. So
I like that idea. It's not something I thought of, and I definitely will contact the school and see if they have a career day, see if there's an opportunity available to go and speak into the student body. And
that's something that's so common at colleges and universities. Technical schools have career days all the time, but we don't do it with public schools so much. But there are plenty of motivated kids that they would do something like that as a summer internship. It's like my screen froze for a little bit. Darn thing. Let me turn off the video. One thing I did want to ask, I don't know if either of you are familiar with, there's been a real strong interest the last couple of years in recovery to work programs. I know I'm breaking up a little bit. This is something, there's a business owner in Nelsonville, and I don't know if you've traveled to the Nelsonville Square, Sarah, and spent time there. The Nelsonville Emporium. The owner is Jennifer LaRue. I don't know if you've ever crossed paths with her. Her story is somewhat similar to yours as far as the setting she's trying to operate in and some of the issues she ran into. So I'd like to get you her contact information. Something that Jen LaRue just did literally this week, after about a year of really examining some of the challenges she faced trying to get employees in to work at her business. She's partnered with another organization for this recovery to work program for abused women and mothers that helps provide them with some of the basic necessities they need to even show up to a job. I think that's another segment of the population, outside of school students, that there may be some opportunities in. And Jennifer would be a really good person to talk to because she's studied this network for about a year and she thinks through things really, really thoroughly when it comes to this. So I'll get you her name as well. I didn't know if you knew about that, or if Daryl is familiar with this. That's something you would consider.
Yeah, I would consider.
Okay.
I would. Another thing that we had for us when I came on as training director about 4.5 years ago, they always had this saying of, we're the best kept secret. And I kept asking, why are we the best kept secret? Well, nobody knows about us because we don't talk about us very often and we don't get out and network as much as we should. I partnered up with Ohio Means Jobs, and I know there's one real close to you there. I just told them, hey, we need help getting applicants for our program. Let them know that that we have a need for people and what we're looking for. And we started a process. Now they're actually taking our applications for us to help me out. So I'm not doing the whole workload. But we told them what we're looking for. We went from having 35 applicants a year to over 100 applicants a year by working with Ohio Means Jobs, plus some of my additional outreach, whatnot that I've done. But so that's helped me a lot by working with the Ohio Means reaching out, tell them what you're looking for. They've done everything from even giving you a space. Washington County is who I work with most, but I know Morgan County has got a nice facility there. They'll even give you a space to do interviews. They've even done interview training for my applicants and whatnot, and helped them for testing and stuff like that. So that's been a great resource for us.
That's awesome.
And also, if you're getting paid internship, if they're going to pay for that person to do their screening, they'll have to go back to Ohio Means Jobs anyhow to do the financial screening. So that means to be able to have someone have your intern paid for by somebody else, that's a great thing. That can help you a lot. You might be able to afford, get 2 interns and see how they work out, and you may get 2 birds with 1 stone too for that instance.
Yeah, Ohio Means Jobs does a youth summer work program.
Mhm.
And I had signed up for that this year and went to the high school to interview the students who had signed up who had a desire to work at my store. Out of the 3 students who signed up, I think 1 showed up, and she didn't even know where my store was located. I'm on Main Street. McConnellsville is that big. And I actually sent her to my friends at the hardware store at the next table, and they ended up hiring her. And so, yeah, it's a great program. I definitely will take advantage of it if I can find an applicant through it, because, the opportunity to train someone and work someone and have them pay their wages is fantastic.
While we're talking about, you've got a pretty special need there with this position. Hocking College does have a culinary arts program, and they've had it for quite a few years. I didn't know if you were familiar with that. They're down in Nelsonville. I can look into who that person is if you would like, and see if I'll just give you their contact information.
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay.
Now in Nelsonville, you also have Tri-County Career Center, and I do know they have a culinary program, and they have an awesome culinary program. I've eaten their food several times, and their pastries and everything are great. If you're reaching that direction, I'd definitely reach out to Tri-County Career Center.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I figure if someone's willing to make the drive, then they've got some passion for it.
Yeah. Well, the other side of that too, there may be some students going to Hocking College that are actually driving from Berry County or maybe even Morgan County. So you might be picking up someone from your backyard in that regard. And even even here at Rural Action, when we hire on AmeriCorps and Vista volunteers, more and more I'm finding young people and college graduates that live in the Appalachian region, and they want to stay and they want to do something within their communities where they grew up. So that's a change that I've seen in attitude. There's more and more young people that they actually do want to stay and be part of their community. They often don't know where to start. So I've got a few names down here that I need to look up, Sarah, that I'll get back to you.
Bear with me. I can still hear you, but I'm gonna have to try to find my extension cord so I can plug in my phone.
Look at 10. The same thing happened.
That's what happened to me. I'm sorry. I'm on my phone now. I apologize.
Everyone check your battery level. Yeah, I'm down to about 30%, but it's okay. I'll plug mine in too. Just kind of a more general question. So I know we're drilling down on the possible solutions for your situation, Sarah, which I think is cool. But I guess, so for Hunter, generally speaking, let's say Sarah just wants to be it's perfect world. She just wants to be a host site for an intern, generically speaking. And what would Sarah need to do to prepare for that or be able to provide for the internship? Is there like a checklist that you use with businesses?
No, not at all. Not for GPCC. It's honestly just to have the business be interested, to be willing to, for us, when it's generally a high school student, it's to be willing to allow a high school student generally, we do juniors and seniors. So like, you know, a 16, 17, 18-year-old, to give them a chance, to give them an opportunity to get a real world experience. Because generally from always what we're hearing is, yes, we'd love to give them an internship. Are they in college? So that's what we run into a lot. So just for the business to be, have a space, have an opening for that person, and be able to give them real world experience. That would be the perfect business partnership.
So a follow-up question, I guess, I don't know if this applies to your students, Daryl, but transportation is often a fundamental obstacle for high school students, sometimes high school graduates. Do either of your offices come across resources, whether it's dollars for gas or some kind of ride program to address this? I mean, does this come up when you're trying to place interns or do this apprenticeship program, transportation to the site?
So for us, on the apprenticeship side, they have to have transportation, but they are all eligible for funding through I Means Jobs with our relationship. And they can get gas cards and such for going to class. But on the internship side, I know that our interns we've had, they've been eligible for, if they have a need for gas cards, all I have to do is ask typically, and they can get something like that. I've had them pay for their safety boots. There's tools for the Career Center because they were taking the electrical class at the Career Center as well. They've even paid for one of my interns. He went to some meetings with me at a professional level in case he wasn't interested in being an electrician. So I had him go to some meetings. They even paid him for him to have a set of dress clothes as well. So there was, as far as transportation, yeah, there's resources. I always point people to I Means Jobs for that kind of stuff, because that's usually a one stop is what they call it. So they can go there and get pointed in the direction of what they can do to help them and find those tools for them.
Yeah. Was there anything, Hunter, is this similar to what you do, Hunter? This is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
That Daryl uses.
With us, I'm trying to think, like recently, I feel like it's more grant opportunities for us if we would end up partnering with a business and the transportation would be an issue. I feel like we generally like put transportation into the grant to provide that, or sometimes for the grant request, it's, you have to provide your own transportation, because they generally are, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. Hopefully have a driver's license and a way to get there. But yeah, with Daryl, yeah, I Means Jobs, that is a great one.
Okay. Yeah. And I did bring it up just because it's a common barrier for young people. I was telling Daryl before we got on the call about a young guy from the school here in Gloucester that was an intern with Rural Action. He didn't have a vehicle. He rode a bike like 8 miles or 10 miles between Gloucester and Trimble to do his internship. Super cool kid, very motivated and very, very mellow attitude, and he was willing to do that. And there's some other young people that would be willing to, but it's just not a possibility. So I think all of these conversations, that's in the back of my mind, is what obstacles are getting in the way for them participating in this program or taking advantage of this opportunity. And so we can all be thinking about that, to pull strings wherever to help make it happen. Because Sarah, if you come across someone who is really, really, you feel they've got the heart, they've got the ability, and they're willing to commit the time, but for some reason they just can't get there. Okay, if that's the last obstacle, then let's figure out a way to solve that, and let's not that be what breaks the deal, so to speak, and you have to go back to the drawing board. So I did want to ask that of Daryl and Hunter, how they address that.
Yeah, transportation is always an issue.
Yeah, that's really good information to have.
Mhm. I know that actually Morgan County has a public transit system, correct, Sarah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how far out into the county that goes. If you had someone within the county that wanted to be part of this, do you know?
They go over the entire county, and I know I have a sister-in-law who's mentally disabled, and they take her up to Zanesville for doctor's appointments.
Okay. So maybe you do have a resource at no cost that could potentially
Yeah.
address this right there. Just something to keep in
Yeah.
mind as I'm picking this through. Okay. Checking in right now, Sarah, are you getting some leads here you want to follow up on? And do you have additional questions for Daryl and Hunter and even myself about this?
Right now, my mind just keeps going to contacting the schools,
Okay.
letting them know what I'm looking for. And what you mentioned, that there's probably people here in the county who are traveling outside the county to go to these career centers and community colleges, who would be willing to stay here locally for an internship. So it's also nice to know, Hunter and Daryl, the resources that you have available through the BB2C. Yeah, it's nice to know there's a lot of help there, because I was getting kind of frustrated. Typically, I don't get a lot of traffic coming into my store. Most people don't want to apply because they think they think they have to be Mennonite or Amish to come into the store. They don't even know that the Mennonite and Amish don't own the store anymore. So. And it's funny because when I bought the store, I kept the same dress code.
Okay.
And my family was joking. They're like, Sarah's going to be Amish. I said, no, I like pants.
Yes.
But I wanted to keep the dress code. I wanted to keep the same atmosphere. And so that kind of turns people away too. They think that they have to be at this certain religious level to be here. So it's nice to have,
And that's
Yeah.
interesting that
Yeah.
that perception is there, but that's one of those, it's a barrier for some
Yeah,
people.
I've had people come and interview and they're like, I go to church every Sunday. I just laugh. I'm like, I do too, but that's not part of your requirement to get a job,
Oh my goodness, that's funny. A couple of ideas. One, when we were just talking about people that are living in Morgan County and going out to maybe Hawking College or Tri-County Career Center. I live close to the city of Athens, and two places of business where I go for like dentist and get my hair cut. Between those two places, there's four for sure people that work from outside of Athens County that drive to Athens County, and three of them drive from McConnellsville. One of them recently got a job back up nearer there. I think oftentimes people don't realize there's an opportunity right in their backyard. And I'm not saying hairdressers and bakers are of the same genetic pool, but I think we might all be surprised if we were to take, lay out in a job description or just this basic one pager of, here's my business, here's what we need, here's what we need, here's the qualifications I'm looking for. Come talk to me, and just really present yourself as a desirable place to be as you're recruiting for people, whether it's high school interns, people at the Rotary Club, parents that are tired of driving an hour and down Route 78 to Athens to work. You might be surprised what you find, and then an adult employee potentially could resolve some of these concerns that you have about the longevity of it. So,
Right. Yeah.
Encouraging you to look close to home.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna change my outlet real quick.
The card's still on.
It might be time to throw away this charger.
So I guess I have a suggestion, just thinking out from looking outside of this, and I would highly recommend, like you said, going visiting the schools and stuff and talking with them, letting them know that there's an opportunity. But then if you could find a way to, and I know Hunter could help you out with this as well, but set up job shadowing, that to get them in, to find out, to actually learn what it is that they're going to get into. That's, no commitment. They just come in, hang out with you for the day and learn about it. And then they'll get the backside of it. And maybe they thought it was all rainbows and nice, clean work, that kind of stuff. And they find out they have to get up early in the morning and all that. But then also, I was kind of curious, have you thought about doing some free classes in the community to get people interested in coming in? And then you can find out, hey, this person seems to be interested and they're actually taking their time and they're learning, they seem passionate about it. And then you can pull that person in for an internship, and they can continue to get classes, but they're gonna get paid, possibly get paid for it down the road.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've taught several classes on cooking and baking. To church groups and homeschool groups and stuff like that. That's actually, I never thought about using that as a tool for finding an internship or employee, but that's actually one of the things that I had planned on doing once we open up the new spaces, because I'll have the space to teach classes and I love teaching the classes. So I think that's a fantastic idea.
That is.
Another thought too on that. I'm thinking about my wife and I had chemistry together and she hated chemistry. She said she never needed it. And then now she's baking cookies and stuff and doesn't know why one time it works out and one time it does. I'm like, chemistry. So you might reach out to the school and get a chemistry teacher involved and maybe bring a chemistry class to your shop and do something like that for a job shadow, bring the whole class to you, and be able to do some kind of a job shadow in that sense. And that can get you a large pool of people and they'll get to learn that it's, there's the stereotypes or the thoughts, preconceived notions they had aren't true about the shop and stuff.
I like
building
that.
bridges. Yeah. Yes. Building bridges is always looking for partnerships like that, business partnerships, going into the schools, doing anything like that. And I am going into the schools. So it's the beginning of the school year. I'm going in to talk to, the classes to talk about, this is the job shadow, the internship process, stuff like that. And I will make sure to add a slide of, hey, is there anybody in this class? I'm at Belpre, I'm at, Marietta, I'm at Waste, I'm everywhere, and say, hey, this is any bakers, anybody, and I will make sure to, just to promote that for you as well.
Thank you. Gentlemen, I will warn you, I have about 7% battery life because my charger is not working.
This is fun.
That's fine. The last thing I would add to this, and I feel from listening to all of this that we've covered a lot of ground in some substantial directions that I know I want to follow up with you, Sarah, with this. Just keep talking about everything we're working with your shop, but just doing a baking thing, great. Open house, great. That's a lot more work for you. So the first thing is an offer to, if there's anything that Rural Action can do to help some of the development or delivery of that, I don't even know what it looks like, but just know that we're here. Vista member is here to help with this type of community support. And then I don't know if Daryl and Hunter have any capacity along those lines, because if you were to become a more ongoing partner with their programs, there may be some resource sharing back and forth on a regular basis. It could take some of the burden off of you to try to get this rolling, because the payoff is across the whole community. So there should be some validation of what you're contributing to the community betterment through what you have with your resource asset, but then also your expertise. And so how can we support you, validate that, help you out to succeed too. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate what you're doing. Can't wait to eat up at the shop. Cool.
So close. I can't wait for
Yeah.
that.
So and one other thing, Sarah, I'll get with you in an email tomorrow or the next day with some of these contact people that I wrote down that I need to get. So Daryl and Hunter, any last words?
No. If you could share her contact info with me, I would love that. I would love to have her as a contact for job shadowing.
Okay.
Just so I can just easily be able to reach out and get a hold of her. And no, I will. I'll shoot you an email tomorrow, and just please feel free to reach out to me anytime. And yeah, I don't know. So nice meeting you, and I just wish you all the best for your job.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys have been extremely helpful. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And yeah, just spread the word, Sarah. There's more workshops to come. There's 4 more we're doing. So we've got one for people wanting to start up a business. We're going to do 2 more on financing, and I'm trying to remember what the last one is. I organize them, I don't remember. Anyways, they're on the website.
You write them down. You don't have to keep them in your head.
They're written
That's
down
what I tell my
somewhere.
kids all the time. I wrote
Right.
it down. I don't know who's on schedule.
But thanks for everything you're doing for the McConnellsville community, because this has really, really big impacts. The little bits, steps you're taking and the people you're getting involved. That's the long-term asset-based development that Rural Action absolutely is looking to support. So thanks.
Well, you're welcome, and I really appreciate your support, Dan. Thank you.
Oh, not a problem. All right, folks, I've got the recording. I'll get that rendered down and I can put the link up, or I'll make the link available. I can send it by email, or I'll just make it available on the Rural Action website and let you know about that. So you can listen in if you missed any of these contact names and all. So
Okay, great.
with that, thank you, everyone. And
Thanks.
thanks again. I hope to be talking to you again soon.
Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Thanks. Have a good
Good night.
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 Bye.